Tēnā koutou katoa. Today I'm going to do a crayon print rubbing example for you. I'm using a cardboard print block and I've got a 2-layer cardboard print block. You can use 3 layers, but I'd recommend to start with 2 and then your next one try with 3 just so you can compare the differences. And I'd also recommend to use a simple design to start with, as it can be quite time consuming and fiddly gluing down your print block. I'm going to do the print block onto the print rubbing onto some newsprint paper. With the newsprint it's nice and thin, it's easy to work with, and it's got 2 sides to it. It's got a glossy side and a more rough side. I'm going to use the rough side to do my rubbing onto to give it a more textured effect. And when we fold our print block, we want to fold it nice and tight so that we don't get any creases or folds on the surface that we will be doing our rubbing onto. Now your print block you can create out of different types of surfaces. So you can use an embossed surface, you can use concrete, metal drain covers, or you could go for a more natural effect using stone or tree trunk. So again, it's just fantastic to have a play with the different types of print blocks to find out the different textures that do come through. So I'm going to start with a blue today, and now I want to, on this crayon there's a bit of an edging, so I want to remove that edging so I've got a nice flat surface, and I'm going to use a back and forth motion, and you can see how while I'm rubbing my print block is showing onto my newsprint paper. You can also use a circular motion. I do find that the back and forth is easier for me as I get a more even pressure. But again, it's entirely up to you, and it's great to just have a play with the different techniques to find out what does work for you. Crayon print rubbings are a great one to use in the classroom as they're nice and clean. You can use different colours. And it's fascinating just seeing the different effects that do come through on the different print blocks. Now that I've got an even coverage for that, I could complete that one and leave it as that, but I'm actually going to apply a different colour so that you can see another colour on top of that. You can do dark over light, light over dark. I'm going to apply a black colour to this. Now you want to use waxed crayons also. And I'm just going to remove the line on the crayon, and I'm going to apply the black, not as hard as what I pressed for the blue, but again it's just great to have a play to see what works well for you. And the beauty of doing print rubbings is that you can do as many as you like to explore the different colours and styles. So I still want quite a bit of my blue showing, so I'm not going to apply too much black. And you can see that beautiful effect that that black gives now. Now that I've finished, I'm going to do a border with my black. So I'm just going to do a nice dark edging, and it just gives the print a nice finish. You can add a bit more blue if you wish. I'm just going to remove that line again. And you can see the different blends that start to happen too by adding different colours. Now that I've finished that, I'm going to remove it from my print block. And as I mentioned, we can do as many prints as we wish. So I'll get my next sheet of newsprint. And again, we want to fold it nice and tight. Using the textured side, but again, if you use the gloss side, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to try a few different colours this time. I'll start with a red. Again, we need to get our edging. I'm going to push really firm with this one. So you can see that with the two-layered effect of the print block, my print is mainly getting the second layering, and the base is coming through on some areas, such as here. I'm going to try a different colour now. Get my edging. Your print block is fascinating because it can resemble yourself, anything of meaning to you. Now I'm going to add one more colour. Go yellow. Again, I'm going to get my edging. So you'll see that the lighter colour doesn't show as well as the darker colours. I might actually rub a bit of yellow through the rest of the print. Just to give it a nice effect. And I'm going to add a bit of red over this side too, just to balance the picture up. Again, you can see that line happening there, so I just need to get rid of that line and maybe push a bit lighter. You can actually use this print block to then do your ink prints from too. I would recommend doing your crayon rubbings first, just so that you don't get any of the ink that remains on the print block coming through. Because as you can see, the crayon picks up anything. Okay. So when we use our print block, we need to count all the prints that we create from that block. This block I've only created 2 prints, and that's all I'm going to create. So I'm going to label my prints out of 2. If I had created 10 prints, we'd label them out 2. So first I'm going to trim the borders. I'm going to use a Stanley knife, and you want to leave minimum 1 centimetre edging. If the children are using Stanley knives, just be aware that they are quite dangerous. But I find that the Stanley knife gives a nice effect rather than the scissors, which are quite easy to go crooked with. Okay, I'm just going to tidy up that corner there. There we go. Now we're going to label this print. So as I mentioned, it's out of 2. So this is number 1 out of 2. And I'm going to call these prints Empowering Kuru. I'm going to write my name, where the print was created by, and the date, September 2017. There we go. Enjoy creating your print rubbings.